Krampus, Harmony Shadow, Chapter 2, Defending the Moon. Luna and I had been walking through the forest for a few minutes in silence. Luna wasn't talking, so I'd figured I'd take the time to think about what I would do when we met with her sister. I could always tell the truth. Nah, I thought to myself as I tried to think of a way to get them to believe I wasn't evil.
We are here, Krampus,
I heard Luna say. I snapped out of my thoughts and gazed upon the castle of the two sisters. The stonework was impeccable, well from what I could see from the other side of the ravine. I kept staring at the castle as I saw Luna fly into the air and over the 30-foot wide chasm, as I stood watching her gracefully float in front of me.
There's the bridge this way,
she said, as she floated next to the rope bridge.
No offense, Princess,
I started, staring at the rickety bridge.
but there's no way that this bridge will hold my weight.
Then how dost thou plan to cross the ravine so we can meet with my sister?
She asked with a confused and perplexed look on her face. I let the corner of my mouth lift up slightly and stood beside the bridge. Hopefully this works, I thought to myself, as I closed my eyes and imagined in my mind's eye jumping the ravine. I took a steady breath and opened my eyes, crouched low and jumped. I've never felt more exhilaration in my entire life. I jumped about 100 feet into the air. I stuck my arms out in front of me and focused on where I wanted to land at the other side near the castle. I started to drop out of the sky slowly instead of quickly, and when I finally landed, I put my arms to my side and smiled.
That is how I plan to get to the castle,
I said, turning around to find Luna floating where she was before I jumped. I snickered as she looked between where I was and where I am now, and when she looked at me again, I motioned for her to continue leading the way. As she floated towards me, I looked on towards the castle, as I tried to figure out where in the timeline I was. I looked back towards Luna and she landed next to me. I laughed as her jaw was almost unhinged and her eyes were larger than they were the entire trip.
Close your mouth. You might accidentally swallow a fly,
I said, and she instantly closed her mouth and shook her head.
How didst thou jump that ravine? Not even an earth pony could do that,
she exclaimed, as she bored a hole into me with her eyes. I just smiled and said,
That would be one of my few tricks. Now, after you, child, because I have no idea where your sister might be.
She scowled at me, before turning around and heading towards the castle. Once more I followed, and we walked in silence. I had to contain my enthusiasm as we entered the double doors of the castle. It was grander on the inside, gold and obsidian lined and swirled on the floors as fine tapestries hung on the walls. And there in the center of the room that we entered were two thrones. One of onyx and gold with the symbol of the sun, and the other right next to it was marble and obsidian. But what really took my breath away was the being sitting in the first throne. She was as white as snow, her hair was a mix of green, light purple, blue and magenta, flowing in a non-existent breeze. She smiled a warm motherly smile as she saw Luna, and I frowned when her eyes turned to me, and I saw nothing but fear and hatred.
Sister, why art thou coming to me with such a strange creature?
She said. Luna adopted a confused expression as she said,
What dost thou mean, sister? We thought it best to speak with them together.
I decided to get in their good graces, so I bowed before Princess Celestia.
Princess Luna told me that she wished to consult with you, as when she found me I was sitting by a small river in the forest,
I said, with my head bowed. I listened as Celestia's breath hitched, and I could hear her heart beat faster.
What is thy name, beast?
I heard Celestia say.
My name is Krampus, and may I inquire as to yours, your highness?
I said, hoping that I could get them to not imprison me.
My name is Princess Celestia, beast. Remember that. As for my sister, we ask again, why did you bring him here? Why not destroy him when you found him?
Celestia asked.
Because, sister.
Luna started.
He heard us, and asked us why we would attack him when his back was turned. He then revealed that he is the punisher of the wicked, and protector of faith, friendship, and good.
She finished. I tilted my head up slightly so I could get a look at Celestia. Her eyes were wide after hearing that I punish bad and evil, and protect friendships.
And you believed it?
Celestia said incredulously. She stood up and walked towards me and Luna, as she almost seemed to be seething as she continued.
You know that ponies are peaceful and practice friendship. This being looks as if he's.
Luna interrupted.
Krampus is a he, sister. And isn't it you that said all beings deserve friendship?
She asked. If Celestia was seething before, she was full-blown pissed now.
You have dared to grow bolder and use my words against me since we defeated Sombra.
Celestia started giving me a good idea as to where I was in the timeline.
We try to get Discord to accept friendship, yet he tried to make the world his. We try to get Tarek to accept friendship, and even his brother Scorpan tried, and yet he still attempted to take over. And finally, Sombra. He gave up on friendship, a pony pondered in dark magic.
Celestia continued as I watched her mane turn into fire, and her eyes turned slitted. No, I thought, as I watched as Celestia transformed into Daybreaker.
Celestia, what is wrong with you?
Luna asked, terrified, as she watched her older sister give into darkness.
Isn't it obvious, sister?
Celestia started.
Sombra was right. Friendship doesn't work. It has not helped us. Lie, sister!
Luna yelled, cutting off her sister once more. I slipped into the shadows as Celestia fired a magic blast at Luna, and they started fighting. It's not supposed to go this way, I thought to myself as I watched them fight each other from the shadows, waiting for an opportunity to help Luna. Daybreaker wasn't supposed to be a thing until Starlight changes their cutie marks, and even then she's just a dream version, I thought as I slunk around and set up a few toys and watched.
Sister, please stop this madness!
I heard Luna yell at her sister.
This isn't you! Please do not make me use the elements! Celestia is no longer here, little Luna, for I am Daybreaker, and everyone will forever love me.
Daybreaker cackled.
You will never have the love of Equestria, and I will forever rule unopposed.
As she said that, she walked close to the doll that I had set down, which set it off. The doll said Mama in a cheery tone, which made Daybreaker spin around, and she looked down at the small toy. I slunk next to Luna.
I will keep her busy. You see if you can stop her,
I whispered to Luna. As I said that, the doll turned demonic and jumped into Daybreaker, and crawled up to her horn and latched on. When she tried using her magic, it wouldn't work, because the doll was blocking her concentration.
Get off me, you confounded toy!
Daybreaker screamed as I appeared behind her, and let a ribbon snake from under my sleeve, around her wings, constricting them to her back. Daybreaker spun around to face me, and looked even angry as she said,
You dare help my wench of a sister! She will never rule, only me!
I grinned, as Luna lit her horn once more and the elements spun around her.
Yes,
I said, staring into the eyes of Daybreaker.
because you have forgotten the meaning of friendship. You have lost your faith and must be reminded why friends are always worth having and making.
I continued. I looked to Luna and nodded. Her eyes took on a dejected tone as she nodded back and fired the elements. When they hit Daybreaker, my toys let go, the rainbow lights spinning around her, she screamed.
I will defeat you both!
She screamed.
You'll pay for this!
She finished as she disappeared into the rainbow, as it shot through the roof and left an image of a mare in the sun. I looked back at Luna as the elements dropped from around her, and she fell to her knees, weeping. I walked up to her and wiped a tear away, forcing her to look at me.
It will be alright. I will be here for you, and I will help you when you need me to. Your sister shall return, but not for a very long time.
I started staring into her eyes.
But when she returns, we will have the elements to help us. We must never give in to hate. You will have to carry your sister's legacy of friendship.
I finished as I picked up the toys.
We know.
Luna sighed.
We will rule without our sister, and we will continue peace, friendship, and prosperity. We will hide the elements and wait for when the true bearers make themselves known.
She looked at me as she continued.
Will you stay with me? And be my friend? Will you help keep Equestria safe while my sister is gone?
She asked. I helped her to her hooves, as we both looked to the sun.
I promise you, I will forever be your friend. I will uphold friendship. I will punish any and all evil that will come along, and together we shall watch and wait for the time that you and your sister may reunite.
I finished. Certainly different from what I was expecting, but then again there was the hint of Luna being nicer than she probably would have been, so maybe there was that. Anywho, let's get on to our harmonious donators. Top donators are 630, Peter Coulthard, J Tinman, Darkside, and Only One Thing. TacoCat598, Rayden, Narwhals, Blackmoonheart, Pastel Skies, Austin Roland, CrazyKiller557, Stu Hex, Will, Omicron Lyrae, Chris, Twinkie, Dospo, Delta Omega, Jack Hadge, RuneTyphon9852, Madman Stan, Lizzie Brickett, Drake Lovedragon, Hansa Norman, Stephen Bingham, LineGod12, Sorcerer Constantine, Hudzaza, Convair, and many more super duper wonderful people. Thank you all so much for watching this video and live life to the fullest.